Alright you guys, well today I have for you this 2018 Mazda 3. Take you around the car here. Always liked these Mazda 3s. Kind of known as like the more sportier car in the compact segment. This is the last generation, but I've always kind of liked this generation Mazda 3. This is kind of like when they were focusing on more sport. The new Mazda 3 went a little more on that comfort side. And overall, I think this is just a really good generation of the Mazda 3. I'll show you guys the trunk space really quick. So there's a little button under here. And trunk space is pretty average. It's not the biggest. It's pretty typical for a compact car. You're not going to get an insane amount of room, but you can fold the seats down with these little tabs right here. But we'll close up the trunk and we'll try out these back seats really quick. All right. So back seats are a little bit cramped. This is kind of where I would sit. And my knees are kind of pressing up against the seat right here. So not super spacious. It's okay, but not like a limo, obviously. But you do get these really nice perforated leather seats in this Grand Touring trim. And you also get these cup holders. But we'll hop out of here. And we'll show you guys under the hood real quick. All right. Pretty heavy hood. It does have a hood prop, and this is the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. It makes 184 horsepower and 185 pound-feet of torque, which is actually pretty powerful for a compact car, especially back in the mid 2010s, sort of, when this car was new. It's actually the same engine in the Mazda 6, which is a bigger car than this. So pretty good power. It is paired to a 6-speed automatic, but we'll close up the hood here. All right, let's hop in. So we'll start it up. It does have push to start. Key fob is running low, so I have to hold it like that. You do get this interesting heads-up display panel thing that like lifts up when you start the car. But as I said, I really like these leather seats. They got this nice two-tone with the red stitching on the side. Very comfortable, very high quality. I like this interior. It looks classy, it looks sporty, elegant. Definitely like it a lot. Got this nice steering wheel. It feels pretty sporty. It's pretty small diameter. You also get a heated steering wheel in this Grand Touring trim, as well as heated seats, 3-level each. You do get your climate controls, pretty self-explanatory. Temperature, it's pretty easy to use. Down here you do got your shifter for the 6-speed automatic, and backup camera is decent. A little bit tiny, a little bit crunchy, but it works just fine. You also get a sport mode with this little toggle switch. You can turn it on or off. That's the only drive mode, just sport mode, but still pretty nice. You got your electronic parking brake right here. You also got your center screen. It is a touch screen, actually, unlike the brand new Mazdas, some of them. But you can also use this scroll wheel to go through it. And you just got your typical features, like you can switch between the radio or the Bluetooth, all of that stuff. You can go back. And it doesn't do a whole lot of other things, really. Basically just your radio and your car settings, not much else. You can change your turn signal volume, so this is the high volume. And we try seeing what low sounds like. That's kind of interesting. I've never seen that before. You can actually move this heads-up display panel from the infotainment screen. You do got your volume control. It's in kind of a weird spot right here, but you know, it works. You also get these cup holders. You can use this little cover. Looks very nice. And your center console is pretty tiny. Not a lot of space in there, but you do get a car charger outlet. You also get a USB and an aux right in here. You got a sunroof in the Grand Touring. Nice paddle shifters on the wheel. Adaptive cruise control, radio controls, phone controls, all that you would expect for a modern car. But I think we will get this Mazda 3 out on the road. talk about how it drives here. All right, just taking it easy on this gravel road. All right, let's get out on the road here. I like this gauge setup. I like how the tachometer is like the main gauge right here, and this little digital speed readout. I think that's pretty cool, pretty unique. And one thing you notice about this car, this is one of those cars where it doesn't seem all that special on its own. Like when you first start driving it, wasn't really impressed at first. But as I got to know this car, I started to like it a lot more. This engine has nice smooth power, nice smooth acceleration. It's actually quite punchy, which I wasn't expecting. Has a pretty good sound to it as well. Has a nice like sporty kind of sound. And I really wasn't expecting it to feel as punchy and peppy as it does. It actually gets up to speed pretty quickly. Nice linear power, which I like. You also notice these brakes are really good. I really like the feel of the brake pedal in this car. It's nice and smooth. Has a really good defined bite point to it. Very smooth stops. You also got this cool traffic sign recognition in the heads-up display. Tells me there's a stop sign right there. But we'll get out onto this road right here. As soon as this guy turns, try out some of the power here. All right. It's slightly delayed initially. It takes a few seconds for those revs to really build up. But once it does, it just kind of like takes off. I do like the feel of it. It's obviously not like a crazy performance car in speed, but peppier than I was expecting. Has a nice smooth ride to it as well. Just kind of like glides down the road. And I do like Mazda's steering. It's got a nice playful steering to it. Nice and precise around center. Like you feel like you can kind of point the car like really smoothly exactly where you think it's gonna go. Has a good weight to it. And it's a nice playful type of steering. You kind of feel the tires a bit, you feel the road. Yeah, overall just like a nice driving car. Nice smooth stops. Car feels like it can handle hard stops pretty good. This 6-speed automatic is a little strange. It requires a bit of a learning curve to get used to it. It's pretty smooth shifting, like shifts feel nice and smooth, decently precise for the most part. But there are times where it's a little slow to downshift. I noticed there are times where kind of have to put your foot into it a decent amount to get the transmission to really kick down and get you moving. I also notice the 1 to 2 shift in the transmission is kind of slow. There are times where I was accelerating and it kicks off pretty good in first gear, but then when it shifts to second gear, it kind of pauses for a decent amount of time. Feels like it kind of cuts off the power a little bit there. And over time, you kind of adjust to that. Like, you kind of figure out how to sort of modulate the accelerator just to get the most out of the engine. But once you get used to it, it's a nice smooth shifting automatic and pretty sporty. This throttle response is pretty good. It's pretty predictable right at the beginning. Drops off a little bit, like sort of midway in the throttle, but just starting out, the throttle is pretty responsive right away. Yeah, nice smooth engine. Very smooth power. Pretty composed, like points in a straight line really well. Feels nice and predictable. Like you can always tell what the car is gonna do. Nice smooth and planted handling in this Mazda 3. Try some more corners up ahead here. You just get this feeling like you always know exactly what it's gonna do. Like, you don't feel like it's gonna throw any surprises at you at all. You feel very like tuned in with the response, which is pretty cool. I know Mazda did all these like focus groups. I remember they did like a lot of research trying to figure out what people like in their driving experience. And this car, it does kind of encourage you to drive faster. Unfortunately, we are stuck behind some traffic, but in the meantime, we'll test out our turning radius, see how it is. All right, good body motions when I take corners. Cut the wheel all the way. And yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty zippy turning radius, not bad at all. Get back out on the road right here. We'll try this one corner right here. All right, it's very nimble, actually. For just like a mainstream front wheel drive car, handles pretty good. Very tossable, very predictable. Trying to let these cars get ahead of me a little bit. Just want to try out these corners up here. All right. It's pretty good. This transmission holds out the gears when it senses you want to go a little quicker. Not bad at all. Try putting it in sport mode, actually. Your visibility in here is decent. Get a pretty clear view of the road. Pillars are a little bit big, I'll say. And these side mirrors are decent, but they are positioned pretty far back in the door frame. So I feel like I don't always get that like really clear view out of the side mirrors as I might get if they were positioned further up. Kind of an interesting design feature. But you got this like big back window. Car feels a little bulky-ish in its dimensions when you drive it. But that's really not a big deal. You get used to it. Sport mode definitely makes the car a lot more responsive. I like the way it holds out the gears in sport mode. Like, it's not crazy aggressive, like it's hanging around like 4,000 RPM or anything. It just holds it slightly in the higher revs. Feels a lot punchier. The engine is a little bit lackluster off the line, I notice, in the lower revs, and when you put it in sport mode, it makes that power band like more accessible. Alright, take this car on the highway here. Oof. That's nice. That's really, like, nice sharp handling. Nice sporty engine. Gets up to highway speeds pretty quickly for what it is. Doesn't like blow the doors off, but for what it is, it's pretty peppy. I think we'll take this exit here. Get back on the highway going the other way. Try to downshift here. Alright. Paddle shifters work pretty good, actually. They're pretty responsive. There is some wind noise on the highway. Not the quietest car, I've noticed. Not that it's like really loud and uncomfortable, but it's not like a luxury car, which you kind of expect. Alright, you guys, well, I think I will end the video a little bit up here. It's 2018 Mazda 3. Definitely a compelling choice if you're kind of on a budget, but also want something that's fun to drive. It's actually an enjoyable car to kind of throw around. One like takeaway I got from this car was it feels very predictable. Like you feel very tuned in with what the car is gonna do. Very predictable, like sporty type of response to it. Nice, smooth, peppy engine power. Not like a crazy performance car, but still like pretty peppy. Peppy for the class of vehicle it's in. Nice, elegant, sporty interior. A nice, sporty, exciting car to drive for a good value. Really like this Mazda 3, but we'll shut it off and we will hop out. All right, thanks for watching.